Hey guys, what's up? It's Nate, and I'm back with another episode of Paranormal Talk. Do you think your house is haunted, but you're unsure? You can't seem to have a team come out and check it out for you? Well, if you're brave enough, you can do it yourself, because in this day and age, guess what? There's an app for that. So in this new segment, what I'm going to be doing is downloading these apps from the App Store. I'm going to be testing them out with Charlie back here, and we're going to see exactly how they work. And I'm going to give you my opinion as to whether or not I think they can be used as valid tools for investigating the paranormal. This new segment is the Paranormal App Test. Let's get into it. Okay guys, so this app test is going to focus on the Sono X10 Spirit Box. Now as I said, this app was put out by Jonas Pedersen. He did the SBX12 Spirit Box app, which I did not hate, but I wasn't exactly sure as to how accurate it was. I did seem to get some decent stuff with it. So we're going to go ahead and start this test now. Screen looks pretty nice. I like it. Sensor signal timestamp, not sure what that is. Signals on and off. Okay, so none of that works, but you have the little silver power key here, so I have to assume that's what you're going to push, but it does have some information, so let's see what that says. Before you leave a negative review, it's creative voice bank, standard voice bank, created by small bits of the American language, alphabet, phenotype, no full sentences or words. So that's kind of similar to the last app I tested, the Necrophonic, only this does not contain the DR60 sound bank. Thank God, because I was not a fan of that. But it doesn't look like this actually scans through radio waves. It looks like it scans through sound bits. So that's a little bit different, and I kind of like that. I assume the silver power key here. Make sure the volume's all the way up. Yep. Adjust the speed. I like having the speed all the way up, as you guys know. The faster the sweep rate. Sorry about that. The better your results are going to be, because there's going to be less chance of it actually formulating a full word. Does anybody here with me? I am only speaking to people who reside in this house. I am not speaking to any other entity. Please come forward and tell me your name. Done. So it's got this cut volume key here, guys, and I kind of like that because I can hold that and it seems to stop all the noise. I thought I heard something there say I'm losing you, but I'm not positive. As I said, when I use these screen records, my volume's a lot lower on my end until I go back and review it. So I probably will do another evidence review of this app. If there's anyone here with me, I can hold this down and pause this while I'm asking questions, because you guys can actually hear what I'm saying. Is anyone else here with me? Can you tell me my name? Okay, I don't know if you guys heard that or not. I asked for my name, but I'm pretty sure that went Brittany, which is my girlfriend's name. So that was kind of interesting. If there's anything here, can you tell me my name?
Like it. This lady can.
Could you tell me my son's name?
It's Brian. Tomorrow. Just one. That whole
Alright, so if you guys can tell, I'm trying to give like 7 to 8 seconds, maybe a little bit longer, for anything to come through and actually speak. Sometimes it takes them a little bit of time, and it takes a lot of energy for them to come through on these apps and actually be able to speak to us. So, we recently got an animal. Can you tell me what kind of animal that is? I mean, I could have said cat, but... Okay, so I'm not sure if that just said acorn or not, but if that just said acorn, that actually was the name of the cat that we just got. The name of the cat is Acorn. So I don't know if that was, I heard that correctly or not, but during the evidence review, I'll find that out. And if I did, then that's pretty interesting. If there's anything here with me, are you a male or a female? I'm a male.
Like it.
So I gave her a little bit of extra time there, but I'm pretty sure almost directly after I asked that, I heard the voice of, say, I'm a male. But evidence review will tell me better. Can you tell me, how did you die?
Me?
Could have sounded like I fell. Can you tell me, how old are you?
No. There's no.
Can you tell me specifically, what year is it?
There's stage.
So I'm going to ask you the same thing that I asked the Necrophonic app. My son claims to see a spirit of a cat. Are you actually a cat, or are you something else?
Difficult.
I'm not sure what it said there, but that was a really deep voice. Are you able to travel to different locations, or do you have to stay here in this house? Are you able to move from location to location? That it said help me. That could be wrong. Do you know that you're dead?
Well, he's...
Can you tell me what room I am sitting in right now?
You...
If you can see right now, can you tell me what room our new pet cat Acorn is in?
With a thing. This was it.
In the house? Well, yeah. Well, I'm well aware that the cat is in the house if you did indeed say in the house there, but what room?
Down. People.
Can you tell me? It's close to a major holiday that has been a holiday for generations. Can you tell me what holiday happens in the month of December? That very well could have said Christmas there, broken up into 3 syllables, but I'll have to go back and listen. That was sketchy. It was close.
So you are
Well, if you spoke to me during this test, I appreciate it. I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna test this app again later. However, so this won't be the end of me trying to communicate with you. Could you tell me thank you, or could you tell me goodbye?
that
Alright guys, so I'm going to go ahead and stop this first initial part of the test, and we'll continue testing this in a minute. I think I heard some interesting stuff, but I want to be sure that I heard what I heard before I continue on, so I know exactly what direction that I'm moving with this test. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. So I took a few days off from filming just because of personal reasons that were going on. However, we're going to jump back into the app test of the Sono X10 Spirit Box. Let's get it. Alright guys, so this is a continuation of my test of the Sono X10 Spirit Box. So I will start off by saying a few things that I like about the app. I started the app test a few days ago. I have not yet had a chance to revisit it. We've had a few things going on here in the house, not spiritual or paranormal related, just other things. So first things first, I love the cut volume button because I can stop the actual feed and you guys can hear what I'm saying as I ask questions. That is very important. I've had complaints in past videos that as I'm asking questions, they can't hear what I'm asking because of the spirit box and how it's acting. So I like the fact that I can pause it and you can hear clearly exactly what I'm asking. It makes it to where you can better assess the answers that I'm getting if you are one to sit down and analyze a video on a spirit box app or an app test. 2, I like the fact that when I pause it, you can hear my input. I can pause it and say, hey, I think I heard this. You guys go back and listen. You tell me what you think. And I've gotten some interesting, comments on people who caught things that I didn't hear or heard exactly what I heard. So with that being said, we're going to jump right back into this app test and let's start asking some questions. If there's anybody here with me right now, you must be someone who resides in this house. Any outside force is not welcome to be here. I'm going to tell you now you must leave. So if you reside in this house, can you come forward and speak to me? Please tell me. How old are you?
Very much.
you can tap
If you didn't.
I'm yeah, serious.
Here.
So once again, guys, as always, I'm going to give about 7 to 9, maybe a little bit longer seconds for the spirit to respond. And I'm holding the phone itself up to my ear so I can actually hear what's being said when I use this screen record. And I might go and try and find a different screen record app after this test because I don't like how the volume is so much lower on my end than it is when I actually record the video. Because then when I go through and watch the completed video, I'm like, wow, I missed that. Wow, how did I miss that? I missed it because the volume is so low that I can't necessarily hear it. I work in a steel shop, and it's a loud place to work, so my hearing is not necessarily all that great. So let's continue on. I'm going to sit in this chair, and I'm going to invite anything residing in this house to come and speak to me. Can you please come forward and tell me your name? I have no intention on hurting you. I have no intention on making you leave. I just want to communicate. Please come forward. Tell me your name. I thought I heard something there say Dale almost immediately. I thought I heard something say Seth there. Alright, so I'm going to adjust the speed up to the highest speed. I don't know if anyone else heard that, but I swore after I asked that I instantly heard Dale, and then when I stopped it and restarted, I instantly heard Seth. So I'm going to try and get anything that is here with me to repeat those answers on a higher speed. If there's anything here with me, are you Seth or Dale? Can you please tell me your name one more time? I almost heard something there. It sounded like I said I need help. So I'm going to go ahead and play off of that. That's what I initially heard. What do you need help with?
Mission.
Alright guys, so I think I'm going to take this down to half speed just to see how well that works. If there's anything here with me tonight, can you tell me what my name is?
Upstairs.
Alright, so I have no doubt that this is going to require me to go back through this video and re-listen just to see if I hear anything. As you guys are watching this initial video live, if you hear anything, please let me know and I will go back and check it out. I didn't mean to let go of the button there. Can you please tell me, what are your intentions with the family living in this house? My family, what are your intentions?
To guess.
Alright, so I'm going to make sure the volume's all the way up on this. It is. If there's anything here with me, tell me my son's name.
I know.
Can you tell me how you died? So I thought I heard a response there. It took a few seconds to kick in. I don't know exactly what it said, but I'll bring that up during the review video when I go and do that. I'm not sure exactly what it said. Can you tell me, is there a spirit of an animal that resides in this house?
Yes.
That was a pretty clear yes. Is the animal that resides in this house a cat?
Over there.
Oh, door. No. All right, I'm going to adjust the speed back to the highest speed. I mean, the medium speed seems to work pretty decently. I think the highest speed is going to give us our best chance at limited cross-contamination from the radio waves that are coming through, though. The low speed I wouldn't recommend running on, only because it does give such a massive time length. When you're looking for paranormal activity, it's going to be quick, and the spirits, per se, are going to be able to link the energy to this device to formulate words, and you don't want that on an extended time frame. You want it on a quick response, so you know when there's, say, 5 milliseconds of a radio wave over a span of 15 milliwaves, or whatever you want to call it, that you're getting an accurate response. You're getting an actual spirit creating full words, not necessarily words that don't exist. And I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, this doesn't work on radio waves. I want to go back and look at the information real quick, because I do believe that this app actually functions with a word database, but the word database does not contain full words, if I'm not mistaken. It will not work in other languages. Yes, so this works on phonemes. It does not work on radio waves. So my mistake on that. I'm willing to admit that I made a mistake on that. It's been a few days since I reviewed this app, and I should have went back and recovered that, and I didn't. So that was 100% my mistake. However, let's continue on. Can you tell me, in 1921, in the town of Newport, there was a great fire that destroyed half the town. Were you alive when that fire took place? I went up. Thing.
Just said, oh,
Where?
no, 7 really.
So throughout my app tests, I've gotten several different responses, such as port, soldier, arms. Whoever the spirit is residing in this house, were you formerly a part of the military? If you were, what branch of the military were you involved in?
Yeah.
We're so.
I'm getting. Go back to home.
No. Different.
Could you tell me, did you have any children?
Right. Much about the things
So I don't know exactly what that deep voice was right there. So I know you guys will, if you watch any of my other videos, you'll notice that I'm repeating questions that I've asked in my other videos. I do that for multiple reasons. One, I'm trying to get correlative responses. I'm trying to get it to repeat any response that I may have gotten in a previous app test. Two, this house was started construction in 1908, finished in 1909, and it was here during the Great Fire of 1921 as well as the Great Fire of 1923. The Great Fire of 1923 almost destroyed the whole town. As a matter of fact, in a former video, I went and explored the old Scythe and Bobbin Mill. A lot of the bricks from that mill were used to rebuild the Opera House in downtown Newport. However, from the Historical Society, all they have information-wise on this particular house that I live in is when it was built.
who originally owned it. And that's pretty much it. Like, for some reason, the records disappear, which is really odd because those fires didn't destroy the records office. So there should be more records on this house as far as deaths, people who have lived here, people who have owned it, like a chain of ownership. But there's not. So it's a kind of an anomaly. It's really weird. So I have really no information to go off of. These questions that I'm asking is my baseline, me trying to gather the information that I need to properly perform a full paranormal investigation in this house, which I have not done yet. Only because, well, it scares my girlfriend to death to know whether or not anything is here. So that's why she doesn't watch my app test videos. I don't blame her. I don't look at it as her not supporting me. I look at it as she's deathly afraid of it, so she doesn't want to know, and I'm okay with that. If there's anything here with me, can you tell me, are you a woman or a man?
My cry. From the line. Always.
Are you trapped here? Can you not leave?
Through this
Late.
stop.
Keep
Thinking. No.
in there.
That was a pretty clear no. I don't know if you guys heard that or not, but that was pretty clear on my end, so I have to assume it was extremely clear without the screen record going. So if you're not trapped here, why do you stay here? Was this your home?
There. Well,
So I didn't get a response on that. I kind of feel like when it says it's not trapped here, that it tells me it's not being held here by any kind of evil force, which leads me to my next question. And as you guys know, I hate asking these kind of questions in my own house. Is there an evil force holding spirits in my house?
This is one.
I mean,
Okay, so that almost sounded like it said, this is why. I don't know if that's saying this is why we're here, or if that was just something that was coincidental. I'm not going to chalk that up to anything yet. So several app tests ago, I experienced a spirit or energy that came through and identified itself as Zozo. I do own a few Ouija boards. I've never played with them in the house. That's not typically my style. I do have a Ouija board video that is set to come out, so please keep an eye out for it, guys. I had a lot of people chip in their opinions and give me credible, good stuff for that upcoming video. But can you please identify yourself again? I want you to say that you are Zozo. I need you to say it so I can hear it.
I look. Something. We're west. Simpler.
All right, so I didn't hear anything that seemed to be a legitimate response there. Can you please come forward and speak to me? I mean you no harm, and I expect the same respect in return. I just want to know if you're here. How can I help you? It almost sounded like it said I say nothing. I could be mistaken. As I said, guys, on this screen record app that I'm currently using, the volume on my end is way lower than it is when I go back and watch the actual completed product. So that could have been what I heard in the moment, and it might not be what I actually heard. Did you enjoy my daughter being here this summer, and would you welcome her back?
Then.
So I'm pretty sure I heard a clear yeah there, and it seemed to be a woman's voice. So upstairs, I have a vial of soil that came from Romania, from Wallachia Castle. Are you in any way, shape, or form attached to that vial of soil?
No,
That
So it's the month of December. Can you tell me what important holiday is coming up next week?
and
Do you know how old you are? Can you please tell me your age?
easy. Wheels.
So I want to go ahead and kind of iterate on that. I don't per se like asking ages because, let's face it, I know that this particular app is not running off of radio waves now that I went back and looked. But when you're running an actual Spirit Box app and you ask, quote unquote, ages or how many spirits are here, you know what? Every radio station has a number. So what you could be getting is an overlap of that number that just happens to shine through. I feel like that question is not a credible question to ask, only because it does lead so much to speculation. However, with this particular app not operating off of radio waves, it operates off of a phonetic genome, and it operates off of the generator that does not contain full words, then I feel like it will be more of a relevant response to get an actual number as compared to if I was running, say, a SB7 or the Sono X12 or whatever that app was that I tested a few months ago. I don't quite remember the name of it. So I would find an answer off of this as a number to be more reliable than I would off of an actual Spirit Box app that would go off of a radio wave. If there's anything in this house with me, can you tell me the name of our cat?
Yeah.
I am doing.
Yeah. People like
There be. Through this no.
Could you tell me the name of my girlfriend? Are you a negative spirit that resides here? I don't believe you are. I've not sensed anything negative in this house. There's been a few times where we've had some odd occurrences that could have seemed negative, but I think maybe you were just caught off guard. Are you a human spirit? Oh, I don't even want to ask this. Or a demon?
Play. Take.
All right, so luckily we didn't get any response on that. So I think I'm going to go ahead and stop this app test, guys. I have gathered a decent amount of information, and I think I'm going to go ahead and give you my final conclusion on this Sono X10 Spirit Box. So guys, that was the Sono X10 Spirit Box by Jonas Pedersen. I want to first start off by saying what I like about the app. I like how it uses a phonetic generator that doesn't use a complete word database. It uses partial words, partial phonemes. I appreciate that. Why? Because it leads more credibility to responses that you get. If you're using a database that has full words and you ask a question, any answer that you get may very well just be coincidental answer that came out at that time. You can ask for a name and boom, it shoots out a name. With a phonetic generator that does not contain full words, just partial, it's more likely that if you get a full name out of that, like say you ask Spirit, what is your name? With a app that has a full phonetic generator with full words, and you get the word Sarah. Okay, well, Spirit's name's Sarah. But if you use it on an app that does not have full words, and it has to take those phonemes and put them together. So you're gonna get Sarah. That's more credible to me. I like the fact that it does not operate off of radio waves. Don't get me wrong, I have nothing against radio wave spirit boxes. I think they can be highly accurate if used correctly. I don't believe they're highly accurate on an Android or iOS device though. They're not per se built for that. I'm not saying that an app cannot fine tune for that, but it's not like you're holding an SB7 or an SB11 that is made to do that particular function. I like the fact that it has the cut volume key so I can speak because I like hearing myself talk, and I can cut it and you guys can hear what I'm accurately saying, because I've had several people in past videos tell me, Nate, the overlap, I can't hear what you're asking. Okay, so now you have a cut volume key where I can pause it, you can hear what I'm asking, and then we can wait for responses. Sir, I commend you for that, and I wish that any other app going forward that happens to be a spirit box or phonetic generator style app takes that step. That is a great step. What I dislike, I can't really think of anything I dislike, to be honest. I think the app works as advertised. It seems to be very fluid. You can adjust the sweep rate, which I do enjoy. Running it on the slower sweep rate, to me, gives more of a chance of the words coincidentally coming together. So running it on a medium to fast sweep rate, if you're going to test this app, that would be the way that I would personally go, just because it's faster and the chances of it putting those phonemes together in that speed is going to be less likely than if you run it at the slower speed. So just a suggestion from my end. I do believe that this app, when we tested it, we heard some responses that could have been relative, but I really don't know, honestly, because I gotta find a new screen record. I hate how when I'm using my screen record, I really can't hear the app functioning in real time. I don't hear what's being said fully until I go back and I re-review it, and then I have to re-release an evidence review video, which, don't get me wrong, I don't mind doing that, but it would be nice if I could fully hear what's being said during the actual filming of the video. So if anyone out there that watches my videos has a screen record that I can record on that is available for iOS, that I can actually fully hear the app while filming, please put it in the comments. I will give you a shout out and promote your channel. I will tag you in the description. Whatever, just give me a better screen record app if you know of one. Back on topic. This app does seem to work as advertised. I do think we got some responses that seem to be relatively decent, and they could have been direct responses. However, I'm not positive until I go back and review it. As you guys watch this video, please tell me in the comments if you hear anything that I didn't hear while filming it, because there's a lot of times that I don't hear the things until I go back and review. Is this app something that you want in your paranormal toolbox? For my final conclusion, I'm gonna say it's free, and it seems to work as advertised, and I believe that any device out there can be modified by a spirit if it has enough energy to properly give you some kind of a decent result. So this very well could be a tool that at least is worth a download and a try. So guys, download it, give it a shot. That's my final conclusion on this video. Sono X10 Spirit Box by Jonas Pedersen. If you liked the video, like it. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I've got a lot of new stuff coming out. I got a lot of new content coming out. We're going to be doing some DIY videos where I'm going to show you how to build a homemade electroscope. That's coming up here within the next few weeks, and I cannot wait to do that. It's been a while since I've done one, and I can't wait to do it and show you guys how to build an EMF detector on your own from household material that you probably have just lying around, and you didn't even know you could use it for paranormal detecting. So, with that being said, share the video if you found it informative. Guys, hope you enjoyed the app test. Nate signing out. I'll see y'all next video.